That's hunting. All right, what up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tuna Status Podcast. I want to thank you guys for all the, following and supporting and some new subscribers and everybody that's new to the channel and everything like that. We're going to be discussing some of the people and creators within the automotive lifestyles, just life and what's going on and how they came up and things like that. So we got a very special guest with us here today. Shout out to my guy.
Shaun, how you doing?
Here for round two.
Yeah, second time. The first time was so much fun that we had to come back a second time.
Yeah, man. Always welcome. So let's get into it. I mean, what's changed so far in your life?
Since the last time, nothing much. I mean, we've been doing the same thing. I mean, as far as with Tuna Evolution and all the events and stuff like that, we haven't stopped. We did our SoFlo event. We did.
How did that go?
That was fun. We had a lot of good vibes, a lot of cool people out there. Florida's always, a fun place to be at. We did our Los Angeles event, which was super dope. West Coast is always, good. I actually spent close to 3 months out there doing content and promo for the show. So I got to work with a lot of shops and a lot of different brands while I was out there. So that was pretty dope. I can't remember what time when I actually was out here the last time, what show it was right before, but I believe I had just come home from like Florida or something. So nothing's really changed as far as that part of my life.
How's the cars looking so far this season?
Everything is cool. The industry is still solid. I think the culture is still solid. You have the OGs that are still doing their thing and they're still coming out. You have the younger guys that are doing their thing, and as far as even as like a content creator, like I will say, like I've appreciated and I've had a lot of fun working with a lot of the cars and stuff that I've been fortunate to be able to work with. Even if we started January into now, like the West Coast, like I got to work with a lot of really cool cars out there. Got to interact with a lot of like other creators and brands and stuff. So like the industry's solid, the culture's there. It's just a matter of like people like yourself and whatnot just keep pushing it. What I mean? Keep cultivating and keep nurturing the younger generation and whatnot. And I think that it's media is here to stay. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. Another question that like I've been thinking on honestly a lot that some people don't really think on from the outside perspective, but for me, like photography and doing the podcast is very therapeutic. It gives me a chance to catch up with friends and talk and woosah and just break down the week and all that stuff like that. How do you feel like being in a creative space contributes or hurts when it comes to like mental health or anything like that?
So I think that's huge. I think mental health and with content creators, depending on how deep people are, I think you have a bunch of different levels to content creators. You have people that like I'd like to think like myself, I've, since 2015 when I picked up the camera, I've kind of like committed to being like an artist. I've been a starved artist. I've been, an artist that has had, everything that I needed. Like my content creation has taken me in so many different ways, but I've learned where I'm at right now that that's just part of being like an artist. So I'm going to have the waves where I'm going to feel like I'm on top of the world because everybody and anybody and everybody's going to want to to work with me or whatever, and you have these waves as a content creator where like you're on top of everything and you're getting booked and you're doing all this stuff, but then you have those waves where you don't make money or you don't make revenue for what you're doing, or you don't get the appreciation or something like that, and I think that does hurt content creators, in a way. I think that the environment, your mental state, stress levels, people that surround you, all that stuff matters when it comes to what type of work you can put out. I know if you're not able to create, that's a very hard thing for content creators. Sometimes when I have like that mental block, you know, I
Yeah, that
get
shit
more
sucks.
frustrated. You know what I
Shit
mean?
sucks because like the worst thing I feel like you could do is like when you start comparing yourself to other people's work.
Right.
It hits different, and then you're always setting this bar because for some people, like for me specifically, like my hardest critic is myself.
Right.
I'm always on myself, but like I gotta remember kind of like, hey, I am creating something that wasn't there, so it's not meant to look like everybody else's.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Content creation is an outlet for people. You know, like you know, as many people know, like my business partner Tillette, that I really got into photography, and he helped me with a lot of like my studio learning and things that I did with lighting and all that stuff. You know, it was an outlet for him. So when he wasn't able to create and he wasn't able to do things, you know, anything that was beating him up in his real life, you know, it would just made it that much worse. You know, like if he wasn't able to get out of his full-time job and go spend 3 or 4 hours in the studio, it hurt him mentally, and it didn't help. And you could see a change, you know, and ultimately, you know, he did end up, you know, taking his life, you know, and being so close to him, that taught me a lot as far as like to make sure that I use it as an outlet. And even to this day, like I still try, like I'll get up at 3 in the morning and I'm just like, yo, I got a great idea. The cool thing is that I've learned is to do a lot of other things. So I don't rely on waiting to get something to take pictures of.
Yeah.
I don't wait on somebody to hit me up to go and do video for something specific. You know, I've decided to do a bunch of different things, and I like to design things. I like to, you know, do video. I like to do short reels. I try to do everything.
Yeah.
And that usually keeps my mind busy. So I've created, you know.
Which you already seem busy enough.
Right, but I need that other type of business.
Yeah,
Sometimes I need to shut everything off and I need to just do something that's just fun for me. You know, whether it is just sitting down with my niece and doing like a stupid little like podcast for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, I decided that I'm gonna help like with my niece and pushing her with her content creation instead of her watching all these TikTokers and YouTubers. I'm trying to have her do that stuff and have more fun with creating it rather than spending all of her time in front of the phone watching it.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of my time in front of my phone is creating and doing research and doing things. So I do learn as much as I spend all my time on my phone, but you know, when you watch like younger kids, I'm trying to, you know, teach her to kind of, you know, do something a little bit different and engage her in a different way. But that's my outlet.
Yeah.
When I come home after being away for months, that's how I kind of get away with, you know, my, you know, stress relief and everything is just sitting there and just having fun with her, you know, doing a little music video or whatever it is. And I think that that's super important, because if you don't have that outlet and you're always trying to like do it for a specific reason, you know, over and over, you're gonna end up, you know, killing your creativity. And if it's not fun, then you're not gonna put 150% in it. Yeah, I don't really think the dollar amount matters.
So, I mean, you spoke on balance, and now you're with TE, and then you have your personal brand. But how is it working with a company and then saying, because like there's a lot of people who are just getting into the field or want to get into the field, and like, damn, they really don't want to sacrifice who they are. How is it finding your balance between doing what the company wants and doing what you actually want to do?
Honestly, that's super hard, and I don't even think I've figured that out yet. I don't think I have a balance. I'm fortunate that a big part of what I came into with content creation was with like cars and models and brands and things like that. So even though I've been able to do other things like commercial things, I've done music videos, you know, all that type of stuff, I'm able to do what I need to do for the company.
Yeah.
And I'm able to split it and get enough content to be able to do, you know, still put things on my personal page, which I still use to promote, you know, the brand and whatnot, but have different, you know, content for the page. So learning what does the page need, you know, sometimes the pages need something more simple, and I'll put a little, you know, more intricate video on my part. And then sometimes, you know, you need something more intricate on the page with, you know, graphics and all that stuff, titles and all that. So that's the only balance that I really kind of like figured out. Everything really just meshes together, because like when I go to do like a brand shoot and I want to shoot like my clothing or whatever, chances are I'm gonna do merch and stuff for Tuner Evo and everything too. So because you also try to figure out how to do the most with the smallest amount of time, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to have to do 10 days worth of work if I can do one full day and have, you know, I mean, when I was in California, shout out to Donuts and Wheels, Archie out there, you know, he helped me a lot. He actually got me back in the studio for the first time in a long time. He booked some studio time and had us go in there, and we sat with Linda. Linda brought one of her friends, and we just had a really cool full like branding shoot. So like we had creator department clothing going on, we had Donuts and Wheels clothing going on, we had TE clothing, we were shooting this stuff together. So it's like we were mixing it. So he's like throwing my hats with his t-shirts, and I'm putting his coffee cups with like my you know hoodies and things. So like it was really cool. And then it's even cooler to see when you have groups of creators that work like that with together, and then you see like my brand in the images on his storefronts, you know. So it's like
that's dope.
That's
dope.
cool. And
that's dope.
You don't get that a lot, and that's what, you know, I'm sure we'll get into is what the creator department, it was kind of started as was to kind of start branching and building bridges between people, you know.
So speaking about the creative department, and you said that it was to build bridges, like, how did you even, like, when did you decide to start this brand?
So I've always been about like building bridges. Even when I started SGP Society, you know, Chris from back in the day from KRS, Chris from ECR, he had the white. So, you know, when I had S Garcia Photography, I kept telling him like I want to do more, like I want to do, you know, more than just like photography, you know. So we had come up with SGP Society because you know, it's a society thing, you know. And I've rode with that forever. That's who I am. That's what everybody knows me as. Even though I haven't pushed the brand like I've, you know, always wished to. Creative department was a joke. I made the logo, which you can see is like the gallery department logo, you know. So I made the logo, and I had put it on a black hoodie and a black t-shirt before one of our like PA shows last year. And it was just, it was me kind of saying like, you know, I don't wear all this designer. I don't think like, you know, $400 for a t-shirt is like, crazy. It's
some of this easy shit, bro. You see the pants and the shirts, you're like,
it's ridiculous, you know.
Even like even up to the Balenciaga stuff. I mean, to each their own. It's cool not to knock anybody who's big in the drip or whatever like that. But like, it's
drip right here. It's a lot cheaper. So what I did was I did my research. I tried to figure out like what they were printing on, like, and keep the quality up. And then I made the shirts, and when I was wearing them, I had a bunch of people want to buy them, and I was like, they're not really for sale, you know. So I ended up giving the original ones away, and then I printed a bunch more, and like they just went like that, and I was like, oh shit, okay.
This is all right.
So I was like, all right, cool. So then like I decided to make like one full like kind of like line, you know, and I honestly couldn't even like tell you, bro. I had people from like Chicago. I had like the guys out in New York from Crown Speed Lab. Like shout out to them. They bought the whole line. Like they had me shipping shirts to the shop like for a week, bro. Like
that's what's up.
I mean, it was super dope. You know, not only the amount of people that reached out to like buy stuff, but some of the people, you know what I mean? That the people that I was like, wow, I never thought like, you know, this person or this person would even like look at that like that. So I teamed up with a couple of creators, Dwarf Media and Fletcher out of Orlando. And then my partner, Adrian, and we decided to start pushing a little bit more and, you know, making like full lines, and we have a bunch of stuff that's about to drop, and still we haven't been able to really like shoot like full marketing campaigns or like get everything up on a site or anything like that because it just goes so fast. The idea behind the creative department was once we started like pushing, you know, we sat down, we started kind of like thinking, you know, how can we make this like, you know, worth doing it, you know? It's cool to like sell the clothing and all that stuff. It's cool to see people wearing it or whatever, but I feel like there still has to be like kind of like a point behind it. So we started doing like collabs, you know, with like Dwarf Media, for example, in like Puerto Rico. And the idea is to continue collaborating with other creators. And, you know, we take the, per se, the cost of the project, we design it, make it happen. And then, you know, the collaborator will, you know, promote, and we cut them in on part of the profits and whatnot. You know, we're trying to design a program now that will make sense where, you know, we can take certain portions of like the profits and put towards a program to help younger creators. I want to kind of get the details, you know, all put together before we, you know, put the program out, but it'll, you know, be along the lines of like, you know, getting them, you know, certain equipment, lenses, you know, and just figuring out what'll be fair and make sense for people. But helping, because I know that that was one of my biggest struggles, was like new equipment, you know, things like that. So even if we help somebody that wants to do podcasts and get them some mics or something, you know, these are the things that we want to kind of try and do. Also, you know, helping with, you know, getting people booked and putting other, you know, younger creators, you know, on, I think we talked about this last time too, you know, how I've been trying to get younger creators involved with like the shows and whatever outlets that we can, you know, do. I mean, even here, you know, if I know someone local or something, you know, like maybe, you know, get them to come sit down with you and let them talk about what they do rather than, you know, hearing it from me all the time. You know, everybody hears me. I'm online all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very blessed to be able to have a voice and speak in a lot of like different avenues or whatever. And I have a lot of like, you know, really cool friends, and I met a lot of like people. So that's a blessing. You know, there are a lot of people out there that don't have a chance to talk. Nobody's listening to them. Nobody's trying to like, you know, learn anything about them. So that's what we're gonna try to push. You know, we'd like to create a portal on our site where it'll go and, you know, link to other clothing brands and stuff that we collaborate with and whatnot. But, you know, it's really made to just be a very basic brand. You know, most of the stuff is going to be basic, like print stuff like this, besides like, you know, some of the collaboration stuff. And the point is really to just push supporting media and content creators. You know, art is everything. You know, you can find art in literally everything that you look at and what you do. You know, do it for the right reasons. You know, don't do it for the clout. You know, fuck fame. Like, that's one of our shirts that has been dropped. You know, fuck fame, create art. You know, that's what it should be.
Which a lot of people lost sight to.
Right, and that's the thing is like,
and those who preach that, they look at them as like, yeah, you're weird, and it's like, why is the conforming to social media or whatever narrative social media has going on the norm versus standing out and just being different?
Right.
You know,
well, it's funny because like, you know, I love to do videos, and I love doing everything. Like I said, you know, I love doing funny things. I love doing serious, cinematic, like whatever it is. But like when I was in California with Linda, you know, I watch Linda all day, you know, and this is her full-time job, you know, so she's very on point. She's very,
shout out to Linda.
Yes. I mean, she's as organized as can be, you know, and it kind of drives me crazy because like I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, take the day as it goes, you know, and she's got like whiteboard on top of whiteboard and all this stuff, and I'm just like, man, so like she got me like into this like thing because I was making fun of her, right? So, because she's like, oh, I gotta post on TikTok, right? Or she'd come out of her room and she's like, I just shot 15 TikToks. And I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? You know what I mean? Like, I just smoked 3 blunts. Like, you just shot 15 TikToks. Like, what is going on? So like, but our relationship and like how we spend time, you know, in an apartment together and we're both working on separate things and we can hear each other and what we're doing, you know, I got into the mode where I was like, yeah, you know what, maybe I should be posting on TikTok, right? So every couple hours I'd like walk around the house, I'm like, oh, I need to post on TikTok, right? And she'd be laughing because I was doing it for like weeks, and I was just like, oh, I gotta post on TikTok. And then one day I woke up and she's like, you're gonna post on TikTok? I was like, fuck TikTok, yo. I was like, I got no patience. It's been driving me crazy, you know, like I'm up at night and I'm just like, I gotta do something for TikTok. And then I'm like, you know, and I'm trying to like set up like a tripod and like, and I'm just like, no, man, like, and like Jay laughs all the time because like, you're seeing more videos of me like talking, you know, before the shows and stuff, and doing it because I know viewers like that. It's not what I prefer to do, so it's funny because I look at him like, yo, here, take my phone, like record this, and he's like, yo, I've never seen you do it. I was like, yeah, but people want to hear like what we're doing and like the last minute things.
Yeah,
I'm like,
bro,
so,
they want to feel like they're a part. You know what I'm saying?
but
Even
like,
if they're not there, they're still immersed within whatever's going on.
but it's like I said, man, like I went out and I bought all the microphones and all the, boxes and everything to like, set up a podcast. And then I start plugging things in. I'm just like, man, it's a lot of fucking work. You know what I mean? Like, it's good for you guys. I love what you, and that's why I appreciate what you guys do, because it's not that I can't do it, I don't want to do it, but like I really have to be like in that mood to like get up, set up lights, like do all this stuff, and like really.
I've been
like,
blessed with this room having so much light coming in, because if not, I would have to spend on.
And this is cool because you have a spot and you have a place where it's all the time. It's routine. The way I move around, like we've talked about, a lot of times, like doing these things, but because we run into so many different people, but that's a part of the creative process that is a big struggle, is like location, you know what I mean, and getting a quiet spot and the lighting and all that. We don't travel with all that stuff. It's hard to be a creator and travel with like lighting and tripods and all that. Like I've come down to like trying to travel as light as possible, and it's still a pain in the ass to take my bag around and whatnot, and some people do it. I mean, I do see these creators, the big Pelican, box, and shout out to them, and God bless you guys, because I took my gimbal with me one time in a Pelican case, and I was in line for so long in security, and I was just like, yo, never again will I do this, yo.
I was like, if it can fit in the backpack, cool, but if not, no.
No,
like,
no, it's not gonna.
On my phone. My phone got enough stabilization.
But everybody's doing great with phones. Like the thing is that, I want to say 70% of like content out there is like phones, like all the way from like a lot of the models now, and even OnlyFans, like even OnlyFans content is all like, so people want raw footage these days. Like I read something the other day that Instagram was starting to hide heavily edited videos. So like I started trying to see like testing, like if I use less like transitions, things like that, nothing works.
It's so bad. Like it's got me down to the point where I'm like looking at the bit rate I'm exporting at and all sort of stuff. I'm like, bro, why can't I just upload this, bro? Like,
I fight with Linda because I want to do these cool videos and like take all these shots, and she's like, no, just record me walking. And I'm just like, why? She's like, because like an edited video gets 30,000 views, me walking in my evening attire gets 4 million views, and I'm just like, got me out here walking around now. You know what I mean? Like I'm out here like, yo, record me walking. You know what I mean? Like I gotta do. So like but it's the same thing with like the cars, right? And I've seen like a lot of like your videos you do with your car.
Yeah.
And you can go and you can get multiple clips and put together a quick 20-30 second like reel, or you can do yourself a 13-second still, just real cinematic looking, a little bit of rain in the back, and with the right audio. And that's the thing that people don't understand, is it comes down to the audio. So for the people that don't know, right, because a lot of people tell me they know this, and then I check and they don't know. When you're looking at audios on the reels on Instagram, I'm not sure about TikTok because I don't care about TikTok, so I'm sorry. But on Instagram, there's a little arrow on the bottom left-hand corner where the audio is. And if you see that, that's a trending audio. All right. And a lot of people don't know that. And I am guilty for wanting to use my own songs. Like I like my own music. I like to think. And
I find a balance sometimes, bro. I'm just like, I'm gonna use my own shit.
So but it comes down to like what you're doing basically. Like if you're doing something for a company and you need to get those interactions and stuff, like use that trending audio, help that company out. If you're doing things for yourself and you don't really care, like I personally don't always care. Like I don't care if I get 5 likes or I get 14,000 likes. Like I put it out there and people will like it today, tomorrow, next year. It is what it is, If it's for yourself, do whatever you want. But if it's for a client and stuff, try to use those little tips and tricks, and trending audios don't stay trending forever. So don't save it and think that you can go do something. Like when you see it, try to find a clip, and this is what I do with like Tuner Evo, like I may see something, I'm like, man, that might be, that one, you know. But then again, we've had crazy viral videos with no audio of just like a raw clip of like a car drifting through a bridge.
Yeah.
You know, and it goes wild, you know. So like, you're never gonna know what to post.
Yeah.
You're never gonna learn everything and what they're doing, because by the time you learn the fifth thing, they changed everything
I know,
already.
dude.
So
I can't stand it. Like, I go on YouTube and it's like the new algorithm updates, and I'm just like, bro, I don't care. I'm like, I just want to post, but it just sucks because when I post, and then when it comes to like friends and family, it's like they don't see mine because I didn't get, you know, one of the things is like you got to get at least X amount of comments or X amount of likes within the first 30 minutes. And if it doesn't, then it drops your shit down to the next tier of people who might see it. And if you don't get it within the next 30 minutes again, then it just falls off and nobody really sees it.
they need to bring back those groups.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
the
remember
super
those
groups? Oh my
You
gosh.
remember those groups back in the day that you like would be in
those.
there, and you'd have like all your homies and everybody in there that's trying to grow together, and then you'd like, yo, I just made a post, and everybody would go and like
Just
drop a
bomb it.
comment,
Yeah,
make sure
bro.
they got
I
like, you
remember
know, 50 to 100 likes right away, and caught that quick, you know, fire.
Yeah.
You know, we should bring those back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially like car guys and
Yeah.
car groups and stuff, like, you know, trying to like thing. And that's another thing, you know, I love how you just said like your family and friends, you know, like I always try to promote within. You know, I always, before a t-shirt idea, for example, even gets printed, or gets sent to a design, like a printer or whatever, I send it to all my friends, like creators and stuff first, to see what they say. And that's how I usually sell, you know, 15, you know, shirts before they even print it.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's already trying to put, and especially with the way that it's been turning around, and you're not able to have people that are like, yo, they'll take whatever, you know, but that's how, you know, I start, is with my own friends and family, and then, you know, their friends and their family. And, you know, Fletcher's mom wants a t-shirt, you know, he sent me a video the other day, you know, of her telling me, you know, I want my own shirt, you know, this and that. So that's a great way to push your content and stuff, is using other content creators and other, you know, friends and family. And I think everybody is essentially a content creator. Your mom has taken out her phone to take pictures of you know, you or your kids, and or something at one point or another. You know, everybody takes a picture, everybody does a video, everybody, you know, like nobody's a creator. Like my mom, right? She's not a creator, right? She would never say that, but as soon as she's at a Romeo Santos concert,
all the angles
she's,
and all
you know, her Instagram story, she's like zooming in, zooming out. She's got like, you know, like, and I'm like, look, all of a sudden you're a content creator, you know? It's the baby's birthday.
Yeah.
Now everybody, she's like, oh, I have a picture with you, and now you get in there too, and you get in there too. And I'm just like, you should be shooting weddings for me, because like, you know, like how to make sure everybody gets a picture, you know? So like, you know, everybody has it in them.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if like the quality's not the greatest or whatever. Like everybody's got it in them. You know what I mean?
Find
like
outlet or channel.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is art to you?
Yeah.
Like what is it that, you know, like, what is it that you want to take pictures of? Some people just like taking pictures of flowers, and that's weird to me, but to other people they like taking pictures of flowers. I've tried to take pictures of flowers. It just does nothing for me. I've tried to go in the woods and do like scenic mountains.
I tried doing that shit too.
It doesn't. I can't do it. It doesn't make sense for me. You know what I mean? Man. But I love seeing how other people create such fire photos and images and videos and all this stuff with the things that don't do it for me. Like OEM cars don't do it for me. But I see people that do these things and shoot, you know, commercials for these big manufacturers and stuff, and I'm just like, man, that's so fire.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have such an interest that it's not like something that I want to do. If I was hired, I would find the way to do it, right? Because that's my job as a content creator. But until then, it's not something that I try to use as an outlet, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing with a lot of content creators where they struggle in as well. It's like if you watch, and it's crazy, like, because my son, he wants to start a channel and he wants to do like his gaming thing with his friends and Roblox, and we was looking at it. I was like, oh, let's watch a couple videos so you get the idea of what you're kind of getting into. And the main tip that a lot of them say is, yo, you got to find your niche.
Right.
Because unless you have your niche that defines you and knows, one, you're not going to know where you want to go and where you want to take this thing. And two, people aren't going to know like what the hell you're about. Right. Because if you're all over the place, like doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, it's hard for people all to congregate to you because they don't know what the hell you're offering.
Yeah. Well, you can see I can see like, you know, my following grow, you know, every day, you know, and sometimes it's more than others or whatever. But I also see like, you know, if I post like model work, I lose a couple followers.
Yeah.
There's those car guys that don't give a crap about that shit.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Trust me,
Like,
the moment I stopped posting the M3 and I started posting the podcast,
I
was like,
right away.
but it never bothered me because at the end of the day, I post what I like and I post what I want.
But that's the same way, like,
and I post for my family to see it. Shout out to my mom.
And that's what it is. But it's just like models, right? That have 1 million followers.
Yeah.
They get tens of thousands of like likes on everything. You know what I mean? And then they post like a cool picture with like their boyfriend.
Oh shit!
Or their fiance,
career suicide,
or
bro.
like
What?
thing, and then all of a sudden, like, boom! You know,
sucks.
there's no love on there. It's like, wow, what happened? Everybody's in the bushes. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, and it's wild to me because it's like, why are you not liking that? Like, do you think that hurts your chances of like being like you should show the same support all the way through? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things is that like people do pick and choose. So you have to kind of figure out what works for you and even if you have to transition from some things to other things, you know, as you grow and as you learn, you know, what your style is and whatnot, like, you know, that's a thing too. But yeah, I mean, you definitely got to know what you want to do and where you want to kind of go with it in a sense.
So, you know, you got the creative department going, and what's really next for the brand itself, the lifestyle of creative department?
We're just going to keep doing what we do and kind of trying to just give back to creators, give, you know, the culture and whatnot, something, you know, to not so much like believe in, but just, you know that there are, not believe in the brand, but believe that there are people out there that care about all levels of creators, you know. We plan on trying to do more events and try to create a team where we can be at, you know, other types of events, sneaker events, other car events locally.
It would be dope to see you guys at music festivals. So,
like I said, you know, little by little, we will try. We just started. I shot 2 music videos out in California. I haven't done that in a long time. So trying to get like the artists and I've been trying to place the product in a bunch of things. So we do have some things for you when our next line drops. We will have some things for you guys here.
Appreciate it.
And like I said, you know, just trying to kind of drop that seed. And you know, when you tell that story to people, it seems like it really connects with a lot of people, content creators and not. Like I get a lot of people that stop me at places and they're like, is that upside down like on purpose? And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, like, but that's what draws people to it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when they kind of hear it, even if they're not, you know, in the industry or the culture or like they just love like the point of it, you know, because there is a meaning behind it. It's not just, you know, crazy designs on the t-shirts, you know, all of our designs have some type of meaning. Like I said, they're a collaboration or, you know, like we have one that's going to be dropping that has like a piece of note paper on the back, lined paper, and each shirt will come with a Sharpie. And you can write your ideas on it. You can, you know, write notes on it, a message to the person behind you. You can do whatever, but it's an interactive t-shirt. You know what I mean? If you want to jot down a t-shirt idea and ship the t-shirt back to us and we print the idea, you know, that's another collaboration. So it opens up a bunch of doors with interaction rather than just like wearing the shirt and then that's it. You know, so like that's one of our, you know, next drops, you know, where we will, you know, give everybody something. And, you know, and like I said, you know, it takes time for us to kind of try to figure out like some of these ideas, but once we start getting them out there and we start really pushing them, I think that people, you know, the support behind the project has been crazy. Like I can't even keep up with the people that have been telling me like I need to hurry up and like print something. Or, you know, I have people that are hitting me up about like still like, you know, where can I buy this stuff? Like, you know, because people are starting to learn like who's doing it, you know, and whatnot. And people like I didn't know this was your brand. Like I've been seeing it everywhere, you know. And that means more to me than the fact that someone didn't know it was my brand but saw it everywhere. That's cooler to me than you know. So because they end up trying to trace down where to buy it from. So by the time they get it, they get sent to like me, which the website is up, creatordepartment.co.
Check it out, guys.
It is up. It does have, you know, some of our stuff that is sold out. Some of the things are available. and we'll keep adding things on there. Hopefully the site pops off and it'll be like the easiest way for people to like buy stuff.
Yeah.
Unless you see us in person at like an event or whatever. But my, DM is always open for people that want to hit me up. We do one of one like custom things too. I just did like a full like bleached and painted series. Every event, every Tuner Evo event, we give away the shirt that I make a one of one shirt for myself.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the show, we actually give that shirt away. Bear started this whole like thing in Chicago, and people have loved it. And it's funny. There's one of the videos like they rushed me on the Florida or whatever. So like it's been fun, but like I said, it's primarily about being like interactive. Like like that's the thing. Like just getting people. We were getting people to actually in SoFlo. We did this where I called 5 creators to the stage, and then what I did was I had them talk about their Instagrams or whatever, and then I said whoever has the least amount of followers is going to win, right? And they were all like, "Oh shit," and it was cool because then we had people following them from there and say, so that's what we want to do. We want to create, not that the following and stuff matters, but I will say like that does help with like this stupid mental like thing when these
it's like it releases some sort of like endorphins that make you just kind of like it's like when you're picked on the football team or something like that. It just gives you like
there's high. Always, it doesn't matter how small or how big you are, there's always something that's going to get you more excited. You know what I mean? Like I have influencer friends that have hundreds of thousands of followers and they get tons of interactions every day, no matter what they post. But sometimes there's that post that they're just like, yo, like they're still excited, so it's okay to like get excited. I get excited still, like when I see certain things or certain, I try not to call out favors from any of my influencer friends. I don't do that, but when they post and they collab with me or they do something, like I appreciate that, you know what I mean? And there needs to be a balance with respect amongst creators, companies, like things like that. Like just because you pay a content creator to do something, images or video, does not mean that you own the rights to that. And that's something that I actually been paying a lot of attention to, and I've been doing a lot of research. And the way that actually comes down is the photographer or the videographer actually hold the copyrights to the images always. You're, as a client and paying for the job, you're paying a licensing fee to be able to use those images and that content for your company and your brand. If you wanted to use it exclusively or something, then you have to pay for copyright. It costs more money. Same way the way that
music kind of. It's like
exactly
it's
the
like
music.
It's like a producer makes the beat, and just because you bought or downloaded the song from iTunes doesn't mean that you own that beat or you own that song.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that you own the lyrics to it. You just own a copy of something.
Exactly. And that's why the artists get paid streaming and they get paid on streams and revenues and all that stuff on everything forever. You know what I mean? Like somebody's still getting paid for Tupac's music, you know what I mean? And stuff. So that's what, people have to understand, that it doesn't need to be this like, crazy like, thing, but too many companies I think are taking advantage of content creators and and it's been happening for a lot of years, but right now media is everything. You cannot brand anything without, and you can go use apps, you can do all that stuff, but it's not organic. We can tell that you're using apps. We can tell. You don't get like if your logo looks like the next person's logo or something, like if I see the C in your, logo on, some business out, in the streets, like I know that you're just getting this like generic like type of stuff,
Yeah, plus we also see some people on IG, and it's not like I go through scouting people's followers. It's just, you see the shit sometimes where it's like they might have 50,000 followers, but then you'll see a comment or a photo or whatever, and they're like, wait, they got like 25 to 40 likes. Like, what's going on? And it's not organic.
It's not organic. People can tell. Everybody's a lot smarter. So just like, respect the content creators. It doesn't have to cost $1 million to have content creation. As a content creator, I don't price gouge. I don't do that. I don't like try to kill people. I try to make it very fair. But that's with people that respect me and respect my work and appreciate my time and things like that. We work together and it works out for everybody, you know? I will always go above and beyond and give more content than I promise for the most part, because it's easy to just overcreate, you know? But too many people are not wanting to, you know, pay for this content creation, or, you know, feel like it's not worth this, or, you know, and that's not the way it is the right way to do it is to come down to an agreement, what works for everybody as far as like return time, you know, things like that, you know, and nobody's perfect, man. Like, you know, I have clients that I have fucked up royally with, you know what I mean? I try to make it better, you know, and thing is, nobody's perfect, man. Like, we all overbook, we all get so busy, you know, things happen, you know, at the end of the day, this stuff is digital, man. Like, you know, knock on wood, that's not even wood. Is this shit wood? I don't know what the fuck that is. You know, I've never really had like a total loss type of thing. I've had like lost, like, you know, footage and things like that, but you know, things do happen, moments, you know,
and it sucks.
And that's why, like, you know, relationships and things are, you know, because if that happened to me, I would get in my car and I would go recreate everything I needed to recreate for those places. But if it's a bad relationship with these people, like, at the same time, you're almost like, I've had clients, some clients, I want to like give their money back and be like, yo, well, honestly, I'd rather just not finish this, you know? So like, don't be that way. Don't be the asshole content creator that thinks like, you know, your shit don't stink and your followers are everything. Like, no, because there's somebody out there with an iPhone that's going to do it just as good as you. All right. But also, don't be the shitty client that thinks that you're owed everything and you can dictate what is going on. Like, you should have some type of creative, control and be able to give your ideas. But you also have to understand that you're hiring these people because they are creative and they come up with these ideas. So give them something to work off of and, you know, find a balance, you know, something that works. But as soon as one part, and like I said, it's not always a client, but as soon as one part starts to kind of not like thing, that's where you start getting all that bullshit. And then, you know, people are talking about the company or people are talking about the content creator and nobody ever gets the whole story, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's just a bad vibe and it's a bad look for everybody all around, especially in our industry, in our culture, because it's so small. Like, it's so big, but it's so
big,
small.
but once you get in it, it's really small.
It's small because you know everybody's car. You know who these guys are. Because when you say, hey, you know, we need a videographer for, you know, California, chances are you know 2 or 3 of them off the top of your head. You know, same thing. You know, no matter where we go. So, you know, just, you know, if everybody kind of just works with that type of like, you know, thought process, I think that the world will be a better place when it comes to, you know, the creators and things like that, you know?
Okay. So we're gonna use this portion of the episode. We're gonna talk about because I did with, you know, ladies and some other prior guests, you know, kind of like a top 5 thing. But I guess we could do like, let's say a top 3. We're gonna break it into 2 parts. For top 3 creatives that you want to shout out and give some of the viewers, like, hey, look into these. You know, seasoned vets. And then we'll split the other part and say top 3 new guys that are coming in that you feel like, hey, deserve a shout out. The guys who don't have the followers yet or things like that, who's putting out quality and consistent work, but they just haven't engaged in the following yet. So it's top 3 vets and then top 3, I guess, rookies.
So top 3 vets. I don't know if you know Last Suspect. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
So Last Suspect on Instagram, I've been following his work forever. He's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to start like shooting like buildings and graffiti, and I started doing a lot of like that urban stuff. He does a lot of those things. Like, he's that guy that posts like that street light photo, and you're just like, man, that's so cool. You know, so like, he has such a cool eye, and he doesn't do a lot of like people and things like that. You know, so he does some of the things that are harder to really, you know, and a lot of those like building shots, like things like how'd you get up there, you know. So like, I have always had a huge love and appreciation for that. So shout out to Last Suspect.
And everybody we're gonna be tagging as well. So you guys out there, you can go check out their work.
Yeah, definitely want to check out.
Go support them as well. So
the other one is the number 2 would be Arcelos. He's been somebody I've followed for a long time. He worked with a lot of like the import models and like, you know, cars and stuff. And I've always like, you know, just paid attention to his work. He's just always had like that clean, you know, like, you know, automotive like shops, like themes, you know, it's cool. And actually, from what I remember now, he's actually transitioned into like a lot of like anime, like shooting a lot of like, what is it, the cosplay stuff.
Okay.
You know, which is really cool. Again, not something that I'm big into, you know what I mean? But I love seeing it when he does. He does a great job with it. You know what I'm saying? And then number 3, he's an OG, and I know people are sick of him and stuff, but orangutan. Like he
that's my guy,
the
dude. I love his work.
Created a lane. You know, he paved a way. He created a style of editing and coloring and stuff that everybody jumped on the train.
Bro,
if you have been a creator,
the godfather of teals and oranges, bro.
I want to hear if anybody like that, and if you don't know who he is, go check him out and try to find his work from like years ago, because you will see that he is the originator of those tones, like those orange like skin
but the
tones,
grain
like,
and the grit and the.
But if you paid
like
attention,
fire though, like,
and you follow him throughout the years, he hasn't like given up. Like he's created so many other avenues with his wife, and like their relationship and the way that they run that business and everything has just been so dope. And they just keep, like I said, transitioning, and they just got different things, and they work with all types of like models. Like they have, you know, girls that have millions of followers, and they have girls that have no followers, and they have such a unique look to their work. I can always tell that it's their work before looking at the name, and I love it. You know, it's he's always trying to, like, you know, keep, you know, curving that lane and creating something new, and I think he's done a lot for the industry across the board.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't.
And I've been following him for a long time, dude.
He's definitely, you know, like definitely one of the top dogs, and you know, if anybody disagrees, holla at me and we could talk about it or whatever.
Now we spoke on, you know, the top 3 OGs that you kind of wanted to give a shout out on social media. Let's move towards, I guess, and not to shade or disrespect, but the newcomers, the rookies. What's some of the top 3 that you feel like they put in good work and everybody should actually like check them out, and consistently as well?
So number 1's gonna be, I don't want to consider him so much a rookie, but he's you know, he's my age, and he just picked up a camera a few years ago, and, you know, decided he wanted to, like, you know, do, you know, video and all that stuff. But my dude, Dwarf Media, in Puerto Rico, his passion for it, his determination, you know, he's got everything that a content creator needs. You know, he's works with whatever equipment he has. You know, he tries not to make any excuses. He won't sleep. You know what I mean? Like, he'll do whatever it takes to hit a deadline. You know, like, the kid is just all around a really great creator. He's a great friend of mine. He's done a lot of things for me with content creation, with you know, teaching me, and you know, content for my own brand, and I mean, he's gone above and beyond for a lot of people. But teaching me is one of the biggest things, because I've learned a lot of things from him, and he's learned a lot of things from me, and that's why I got to put him at number 1, because, you know, even with photography things, like, he'll just, like, you know, be like, yo, have you tried this or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, like, that looks so dope, and I'm still learning. Doesn't matter how long I've been doing it, how many times I've done it, like, I'm still learning. So he's definitely somebody to keep your eyes on. You know, he does a lot of our content, a lot of the content on Puerto Rico. You know, he's definitely one of the bigger content creators in Puerto Rico. So definitely, you know, give him a follow and check out some of his stuff. The other number 2, another buddy of mine. Again, he's been doing, like, you know, content creation for a little bit, I would say, but he was working more for like a company. And recently, within the last about 1.5 to 2 years, he decided to, you know, go full time as a videographer. And I met him through a mutual friend, And I actually let him like borrow like my camera and my gimbal and all this stuff because like he didn't have, the company that he was working for ended up taking everything from him because none of it was his. So he decided he wanted to try to push, and you know, I gave him my equipment to use because I wasn't using it at the time, and he was very appreciative and everything. And the kid's done a lot for me also. But it's cool to see Cloud 10 Media is actually who he is. Jing, he's actually local. He's from New Hampshire. But he's doing great now, and he's doing a lot of like commercial work, and he's doing a lot of like businesses and things, and that's like his lane. He's great still with, you know, the automotive things, and if you check out his page, he's got a whole bunch of things, you know. He's one of those creators, like he will, you know, shoot anything, you know, but this is his full-time job, and you know, he does, like I said, a lot of local businesses and companies and stuff, so definitely check him out because he's worked really hard. Very, very like knowledgeable when it comes to things, and he definitely deserves like the recognition. And the other one is gonna be my homie Chosen Visuals. He's another one I met out in the, you know, Midwest and stuff, and there's so many of them. I'll be honest with you, just like that little circle that he works with and stuff. There's just so many shows. So shout out to all of them, and when you follow one of them, you're gonna see all of them. You know, Jing and Dwarf, the reason why I put them up there is because out of everybody that I've ever really met, like content creators like these guys, being kind of newer in certain regions and stuff, they're still so big on like pushing and shouting out other creators, and I've seen them working with like these younger guys and the guys that get the media passes for the shows and everything. Like I've watched them, you know, help and, you know, help these guys get these shots and, you know, with these other cars and all that stuff, you know. And so, you know, Chosen Visuals definitely for being one of like the more like newer people that I've met. You know, shout out to him. And then I got to give one just random shout out to Thing, because he's not a rookie, and he's probably doesn't consider himself a veteran or whatever, but Fletcher, Ayo Fletch from Florida. I think you know Fletcher is, you know. So he does a lot of stuff with Swerve, and he's been with TE for years. But he's a great photographer. He's a great. He's somewhat like me. He's an all-around media guy. He can get you a reel. He can get you the social media content. He can get you the images and stuff. And I don't think he pushes his own work enough. I don't think that he.
I know a guy like that.
You know, and I think that's what it is, because he's got a ton of content, man. Like, and he does well with clothing brands, and he does well with like models and stuff. So you kind of just gotta like grab him by his ear, like pull him over and be like, yo, take pictures of that, and like he'll kill it. Like his images from Los Angeles, man, of some of the cars, like they look like toy cars, man. Like they're just so good, you know. But he's great at what he does because he still takes constructive criticism very well, and those are the type of people that I will work with forever. If we can sit in a circle and we can talk about what's good and what's bad with each other, and we can learn from it, then we're always going to succeed. And I will always put the most time and effort into those people. So shout out.
So those are people who deserve that energy.
Yeah, shout out to all those people, and I could go on a whole other podcast and name people forever, but just know
next
that
time, guys. Next time.
Like just know, like if you're doing it and you're getting thank yous and people are showing appreciation and people are sharing your work, it doesn't matter how big or how small they are, whatever outlet, know that you're doing it right. It doesn't matter whether you have. Trust me, I have had more money than what I can do with, and I've had the opportunity to do anything, and I've had times where I have nothing to my name. My creating is the same. Right? I don't create more or better when I'm actually I'm gonna be honest with you, I create better when I'm broke and when I'm down in the dumps, because when I get that spark and wake up, everything that I have goes into that next like project, because I have to wake up and be like, damn, bro, it's been 2 weeks. Like, what's the matter with me? You know what I mean? So like, that's that. Like, if people are, if you get text messages from your friends or like people messages on thing, and random people, man, just saying like, I love your work or whatever, that's gold. Put that in the bank and keep creating, because eventually the money's gonna come into it. You know, Tillette always told me, one of the biggest things that he always told me was, focus on what you're passionate about and have fun, and the money will come. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
don't focus on like trying to book and get the money, because it's not, that's not what it is. You know what I mean? But remember too, as a content creator, you still need to survive. So
Yeah.
you need to be respected, and you need to be able to get what you need for it. Don't go out there and just do everything for nothing, because hold your ground too. So you got to
Yeah,
find
waters
that
down your
balance.
brand and your name and
Yeah.
puts you in a space that you really don't like. So I definitely
Collaborate, man. Have fun with people.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
don't
That's
be
what makes it. We
scared.
need more collabs.
Hit
Definitely.
me up. I'm always down to collab. We'll get cars. We'll get clothing. We'll get whatever. You know what I mean? We'll
Yeah.
pull him out. Like, we have the people and we have the power. So like, reach out and let's make media greater than what it is. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, let's keep making it.
Because
A
media
point.
runs so much. It's such a heavy contributor with everything you look at.
Everybody needs content.
Music's, you'll hear a song, but when you see the video will either make or break the song. When it comes to these events, like even if you couldn't make it, you immediately go online and check to see, hey, how's it turning out?
When you drop a track on YouTube, you need either an image, you need a visualizer, you need a music video.
Yeah.
So either way, you need some type of artist, creator, designer, or whatever, because all of that stuff, it takes time and effort. Like, I can do a music video and I can shoot a picture for a cover, right?
Yeah.
But you would probably need a designer to make your mixtape cover, or you probably need somebody that's good with After Effects and all that to make your visualizers and things like that, right? Because that's not stuff that we want to necessarily do. And that's where, if we all start working together, that's where, everybody's going to start popping off. If we all start pushing each other where we're strong, in our strong suits and stuff, I think is where we're really going to like
versus criticizing.
pop up. Yeah. Stop criticizing each other.
Yeah, man. Because I always said it's always easier to criticize than contribute. You know
Stop
what I'm saying?
criticizing. And if you criticize people like that, and you're one of those people that are not trying to like, help people or whatever, then, constructive criticism is okay.
Yeah.
Criticism and knocking people's shit is not okay.
Yeah, nah. But so as we wrap this up, we're coming to the end. As you guys know, I generally like to ask these two questions, but seeing as Shaun is already a vet on the podcast, we're gonna drop that link as well. So just in case if you didn't catch that, I'll either drop the link somewhere within the box on YouTube or at least in the description box below. So what I want to ask you is, what's next for Shaun Garcia?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've come to terms where this is like what I do. I kind of just do everything. I love what I do with the car stuff, social media, building brands. I've built a lot of brands over the years. Some are successful, some, are not, and that's okay, right? Because that's why I keep doing things. I'm going to be doing content creation and promoting events and being in this culture until I can't do it anymore. I will say that I am going to take a bigger part in trying to nurture younger creators and try to do things like that.
Okay.
I'd love to get back into racing. I am planning on my brother and I are planning on getting back into racing hopefully this year. We plan on hopefully racing at H-Day and trying to go back into the 10.5 index where we left it. So that would be something that would be different and people will see, back up. But for the most part, I'm just going to keep being who I am.
All right, cool. We can respect that. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank my, once again, very, very special guest, Shaun, for pulling up. Doors are always welcome. And hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. It was really dope catching up with a friend, once again, as always. And yeah, till the next time, you guys know the vibes. Stay up, stay blessed. Peace.
That's